Okay, we're going to take a look at working with components and what that's like. Going to delete a component, add a component, and do a little bit of configuration of a component. So the first thing you need to do is navigate to the home of C. Augustine under Training Portfolio node. Highlight that, and then over here on the right hand side in the list view, highlight Lacerte Home, and then click Copy. Please note you'll be seeing things up here that are activated because I'm in an admin view, but those will not be activated for you. Anyway, click Copy, and then navigate to your training node, whichever it may be. Again, AEM on the training server will self-generate a training node that has both production copies and training copies. And in a previous exercise, you've already added a portfolio node underneath this training node. So navigate to your portfolio node, highlight it, and then click Paste, and that will paste the Lacerte Home page into your node. And that's the one we're going to work with. Okay, so now we're going to open this up, take a look at it, give it a second to load into Edit. Once the page loads, navigate to this set of icons right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to work with some components here. So on this page, as we go through it, you can see it's got quite a few components in it. There is a grid responsive component we can see here. I can tell because there's text here, there's a text component right there. So we're going to show you a couple of different ways. You should already know that. How to add some components to a page, how to delete them, and then do some basic configuration. So we're going to scroll down here, take a look at this image component. And what we want you to do is go ahead and highlight that. You'll see the green bounding box that tells you that's editable. Right click, that'll give you some options, and then click delete. It'll give you a confirmation screen, and go ahead and click yes. So that's going to get rid of that component. But you can see drag components or assets here, so we can add another component back in there. So we can either go to the sidekick here and do that, or a preferred way to do that might be just to right click here and click New. And the Insert New Component dialog box will pop up, and that's going to give you a filtered list of everything that will fit in here. And for this, we want to go to the Harmony Core catalog, open that up, click on Image, and then click OK. And that's going to drop an image component right in there. And that's what an image component looks like when there is no image in there. So we've got that, and it's sitting there, and now we want to add an image to it. So we're going to go over here to the Content Finder, and I'll be doing some things that you may not have been introduced to as of yet. Don't worry about that. Just you'll have your chance to go through and do this exercise, but just to kind of follow along, I'll give you a brief overview. The Content Finder is where we search to pull up assets to pull into our page. It's tied to the DAM. So I'm just going to pop in here a couple of search words. This is a whole word search, and I happen to know that that's going to pull up what we're looking for. So I'm going to grab, so it returns the results here, and this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to grab that asset, bring it over to my image component. I can see that purple bounding box is telling me that this can be dropped in here, and also that green circle with check mark in there tells me that's going to work. So I'm going to let go, and there I've got that image in there, and it doesn't look anything like the other images, at least in the way that it's designed. So we're going to do a couple of things to get it to where it needs to be. So the first thing we're going to do is you've already been through and had some information on containers. So containers are going to do a couple of things for this that we want to set up and make sure that they're in a good spot. And they are. We didn't delete the container, so I'm guessing that these should all be good. And sure enough, we've got center in there. And on the background tab, we're going to go to the attributes tab and make sure that spacing is still there, and it is. Okay, so we're good with that. And then we're going to click on the image component itself, and again I can see that green bounding box that's around the image component telling me that this is editable. I'm going to right click, choose edit, open that up, and now because we have deleted that component previously, all the configurations in that component are gone. So we want it to match what is over here, and this edit component dialog is going to allow me to do some of that. And I can go through here, So what we want to do is match what's over there. We also want to set this up. We want to set some features and defaults for a responsive image. So the first thing I'm going to do is center this, because I can tell this is a centered image over here and I want to replicate that. Next thing I'm going to do here is, yes, don't scale the image. So I don't want it to scale up to the size of the container, which is what it's doing right there. So I'm going to say don't scale this. And then I'm going to choose lazy load. And lazy load is an algorithm that's going to help the page performance load time. So AEM will go through and determine which of these images need to be loaded and make sure that so this is pretty far down the page, so those top images will load and the user experience will be very good. We'll give you more detail on that in subsequent lessons. So on the image tab, center, yes, don't scale, and then we're going to choose lazy load. On the styles, I can tell this is shaped, so I'm going to go to the image shape and choose circle. The border width looks like it's large, and I will enable a hover state just for this time right now. Then I'm going to click OK. And there we go. We've got that lined up. So something else I wanted to call out is before you delete, which we've already done that, what you want to do, sometimes it's a good idea just to kind of double check this and make sure that what you're deleting is exactly what you want to delete, and you're not deleting any more than what you'd want to do there. So that's it. That's basically loading a simple image component and doing some work with it. Again, you've learned in previous lessons there's a couple of different ways to load components. You can either drag them straight out of the Sidekick into that area or right click and click new. And that's what we've done here.